Welcome to season 2 of the Leo's Den. If you're new to the podcast, we're so lucky to have you. And if you're still with us from last season, welcome back. For season 2, we will have 6 episodes over the next 3 months that will release every 2 weeks on Friday. Look forward to special guests and so much more. You can catch up with season 1 and the topics that were covered on all podcast platforms, and make sure to subscribe to the Leo's Den on your podcast app. Now let's get into the new season. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Leo's Den. My name is Naya Tapper, and my fun fact for today is that I have traveled to more than 15 countries.
How long did it take you to calculate that?
Yesterday, I was applying for global entry, and you had to put the countries you've been to. And I looked at my list, and I was like, holy, that is a lot of places that I've been to. So I didn't count, but it looked like more than 15. So I'm just going to go with that.
I love that. Hey, everyone. My name's Ilona Maher. People call me Lo. And my fun fact is at the Olympics, I became known as the thirsty Olympian. And I'm not that proud. We're just 2 Leos who love to hear themselves talk. So as you know, we're Leos. That's our star sign. So we're going to start off with a horoscope. So for September 28th, ours is new career opportunities appear on the scene to reawaken your ambition. You might come across some unusual possibilities for advancement, but you've never considered before. This can be a bit intimidating, but also exciting. You're unlikely to pass up any chances until you consider them. Success and good fortune are indicated. Hey, that's exciting.
Booyah.
Success. I love that.
Yeah. Anything come up for you in the past month that this resonates with?
I mean, I've been getting a lot of opportunities, like because of the TikToks, I get constant emails in like, hey, if you do this TikTok or make this post, we'll pay you this much. So that's been fun, but it's like, it's been so exciting to see it all, but it is a lot of work to keep up on it and to like create all the content and to talk with everybody, see the creative briefs and figure out what I'm going to do. So it is a lot of work, but it is fun. Yeah. So yeah, what about you?
I've had a couple of things come up over the month. Tomorrow, actually, I'm going to New Jersey to talk on a panel, and I've never done that before. So I guess I'm a little nervous about doing that. It's something new, but it's another way to boost my career. So looking forward to that.
That's awesome. What's the panel for?
It's for the AMP platform.
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
Yeah. So talking with them about that.
Get after it. Cool.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about our Olympic experience. If you didn't know, I mean, like you probably should, but we're Olympians now. I wanted that to be my fun fact, but we were like, well, everyone should probably know that, but we're Olympians. Does it feel real when you say it out loud to yourself?
Now it does. Maybe like right when we got back, it still didn't feel real. But now as time's gone by and I've been around people who are constantly reminding you, it's definitely real now. And I got the tattoo, so it's really, really real.
Yeah, you got the tattoo right on your forearm, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't get a tattoo, but I have a necklace of the Olympic rings that my aunt made for me, and I think that was really special to me, and I really like it. It's like it's kind of nice because then I can take it off and not be Olympian sometimes. Though I do want to get a tattoo, I think at some time. Yeah. But yeah, it's weird to say. I have to say it out loud, I think, to say like I'm an Olympian because it doesn't feel real all the time. Mm-hmm.
Yesterday in the car, I was driving and I can't remember where I was driving. And I'm just like, I'm literally an Olympian. Like I'm driving to work and I'm an Olympian. Like that just is insane. Because I feel like at the center, we're around Olympians and Paralympians every day. So and even when you go to the Olympics, you're still surrounded around those same caliber of people. So it seems regular, you know? Yeah. And then you get home and it's like the most irregular thing to the people around you. So it's like kind of shell shock of like, oh shit, like this is really, really a big deal. Like, you know, it's a big deal, but it doesn't seem like it because of the people we're around. But once we get into the real world, it's like, this is one of the biggest accomplishments you could possibly make.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you see people who like someone hears that you're an Olympian and then you'll see them like turn, snap their head and their eyes wide and you're like, oh, it's a big deal to them. Like, that's cool. I think that's what makes me feel more like an Olympian than just myself, I guess. Mm-hmm. So our Olympic experience, let's start from the beginning, man. Let's go all the way back. We started, when did we leave for the Olympics again? I don't even remember, like 2 weeks before we played?
July 14th.
Okay, July 14th. And it was a travel day to get to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
because we had to take a flight over. Well, we had to drive up to LA, and then we took a flight over to Seoul, Korea, and then we were in Seoul, Korea for like 7 hours or something like that. And we thought we were going to have lounge access, but the lounge didn't open up for like hours and hours. So I was just walking through the airport making TikToks, I remember.
Yeah, I think I was just chilling in one of the like regular seats. They had some comfortable seats, so we got lucky with that. But yeah, just watching Netflix, talking to friends and family, really just trying to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we went to Mimasaka. No, we went to Osaka or something like that. I think it was Osaka Airport. And there we had to get COVID tested. So we had to wait in the airport for a couple more hours for our COVID results. From there, we got on a bus to Mimasaka, which was like a 3-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
And then finally we were in Mimasaka.
Do you remember how long the travel day was? I know some of the girls usually record it.
Kirsch recorded it. It was long. It wasn't like our longest. I think our flight back from Cape Town was the longest, but it was still a long day.
Yes. We were fed up by the time we got to Mimasaka, but luckily we came to a great location because it was relaxation and good vibes from the moment that we got to Mimasaka.
Yeah, because they put us in like a hotel. So we had the hotel all to ourselves, and it's usually a resort, like a spa thing. So we had this whole hot spring to ourselves that we could go use. And I probably use it every day, even though our coaches were like, please don't use the hot springs. You're going to sweat everything out. And I was like, it's too nice. I have to. But we got to use like the sauna, all these hot tubs, and we had access to all of those. It was great.
And I think normally with the Olympics, you'd spend majority of your time at the location of the Olympics, but because of the protocols for COVID, we could only spend a certain amount of time in Tokyo, which is why we had to be in Mimasaka for, was it 1 week or 2 weeks? 1 week?
1 week, yeah.
Yeah, we were in Mimasaka for 1 week before we were able to go into Tokyo. So that's where we kind of did our pre-training, built connection with each other, and just kind of chilled and got prepped to get ready to go to Tokyo and compete.
Yeah, and it's I think people always go to a host town, but it's great because it allows you to we were planning to do this like before COVID, but it allows you to get really acclimated to like the weather and the time change, so you're not just automatically like thrust into the Olympic Village. So it was a great time to just like, you know, get on our sleep schedule. And we were there with the men, so it was the men and women were in the hotel all together, which was kind of cool, honestly, to be able to like connect with them and be with them as well, because we're all going through this journey together.
And the people there were so amazing. They were extremely nice, extremely welcoming. I think they threw us like 2 or 3 parties for that week that we were there. They were so happy to have us there. So it felt good to be there before we went into such an intense environment at Tokyo. The training, hot and humid as hell. Oh my God. Like a lot of sweat, a lot of cold towels, a lot of popsicles. It definitely acclimated us for Tokyo.
Did you get massages from so we would get like free massages from these Japanese people, like, and I would be with I had these 2 Japanese dudes who were my masseuses 2 different days. And I remember like, I don't think they realized like in our masseuses at the center, they dig deep, like they're painful, you know, whereas these guys are just kind of like, felt like they were rubbing our skin. And I was like, you can go harder. Okay, you can go. It's okay. You can go harder. Oh, no, you can go harder. And like one guy, I swear to goodness, was folding me like a pretzel. Like he was putting me in all these positions. I'm like, I don't know what this is doing, but I'm going to trust you, man. All right, you do your thing.
Yeah, we were really happy and looking forward to the massages, but they're a lot different than at the training center. I think that's the case, like in the real world as well, with like trying to go get massages at quote unquote normal places, like not places where athletes usually go. I didn't know it was that different in that realm of like how massages are given.
It was definitely different, but I have to, for some reason, try to make conversation with everybody. So I was like, Naya's probably the type, you're just quiet, aren't you?
I'll just lay down and mind my business.
Not me. I got to ask him. I'm like, you like rugby? Yes. You like hamburgers. Like I'm trying to, because they don't speak any English.
Yeah, they
I'm
didn't speak
stupid and don't speak any
English.
Japanese. So I do whatever I can to try to connect with these people. I'm like, I love Japan. I've been to Tottori. Like I have to make conversation. I don't know what it is, but it was great to connect with them and like see some of the town folk. It was kind of sad because they were so excited to have us and the whole town was going to be like in on this and it was going to be an amazing experience, but it was still great. But we definitely had to make some changes to be COVID safe.
Yeah. So we spent a week in Mimasaka, had some great training sessions, and then we had to get ready for another travel day to go to Tokyo. It definitely wasn't as long as coming to Mimasaka. I think it was like a 3-hour bus ride. Or no, it was like an hour bus ride to the train. We had to take the bullet train. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first for me. What about you?
I've actually been to Tokyo, or not Tokyo,
wow.
but I've been to Japan when I was in high school and we took the bullet train, and they have such a great train system. So it was like a simple 3-hour train ride. We got food on it. We had our own train car. So it was really simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we got to Tokyo and rode over to the Olympic Village. And that is when all the great stuff happened.
Yeah. Do you remember the feeling? I just remember the feeling of like, oh, it's happening. Like we're getting there. It's the excitement just continued to build. We got off at the train at Tokyo and then we got on our bus and just like driving through. It was like, oh, it's happening. We're getting there. And then you have to go through processing at the village. And then you get on another bus to take you through the village to your apartments. And I just remember like looking at all the flags of the countries and I was like, oh, this is happening.
And I was talking to Chris because I was saying like, it literally was like a uphill buildup, because every time you got to one achievement, it was like, okay, now I need to get to the next thing. So first it was, okay, you got to get past LA. Then it was, okay, you got to get to Mimasaka. Then it was like, okay, you got to get through that week of Mimasaka. Then it was, you got to get to Tokyo. And then from there, it continued to be, you got to get through the training sessions, you got to get through competition. So for me, it always seemed like after one thing was done, there was always something else that I was looking forward to after that. But the one thing I can tell you that I was most looking forward to after we got there and got processed was all the gifts.
Yeah. And I don't think I realized how much. I knew we would get gear, but the amount of gear that we got was insane. So we were in the same suite together. You were roomed with Jordan.
Yeah.
I was with Nicole, and then Abby and Kayla were in the other room. And we got so much gear. That moment when we walked into our rooms and we had all our gear was like one of the best moments ever. Christmas
times a million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go over. What did we get? We got so much.
Yeah. So we had Polo Ralph Lauren suitcase filled with Ralph Lauren clothes and accessories, shoes, all that good stuff. Then we had a Nike suitcase filled with tons of Nike stuff, accessories, shoes, clothes. We got a phone, we got headphones, we got more shoes, we got more clothes, we got our opening ceremony outfits that we got to get fitted for, which was super cool because I don't think I've been fitted for anything before. Shoot, am I missing anything? We got so much stuff.
We got Skims.
Oh yeah, Skims. How could I forget that?
And that was cool because we got these like robes. I got the robe. It was so comfortable. We were trying everything on. We just kept like, I would try something on, then I'd go over to their rooms and they were trying something on, and then we'd like show each other like, oh my God, did you see this?
Literally Christmas. I have my Skims robe on right now, and it's the most comfy thing I've ever owned.
Truly, it was. You know what I loved? I loved the romper, the Nike romper. Naya and I matched that first day. We put on our Nike rompers and we're like, this was it. And then we got a ton of shoes. Like I came back with probably 6 pairs of sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I don't need all these sneakers, but thank you. Thank you. And it was just so cool to continuously, like, you rip something open and there was another cool thing. You rip something open, it was another cool thing. And they really gave us everything we needed.
Yeah. And like the room situation was really nice. I mean, it was like straight to the point. You know, you had your beds, you had your closets, you had your nightstands and things like that. We had one bathroom for three rooms, 6 girls. So that was, no, we had 2 bathrooms. Lo and Nicole had a bathroom in their room, and then we had a communal bathroom out in the open area. The girls had a beautiful view. I mean, if those were apartments, I would definitely be paying for that.
Yeah,
be with
it was
people.
amazing. And then once we got all unpacked and everything like that, we went to the dining hall, just a couple of us. And it was cool because there was like anything you'd want. There were so many different stations everywhere of like dumplings and noodles, and then there's halal food and whatever you wanted. So that was kind of cool. We all just like the excitement and trying all these different things.
Mm-hmm. It was a win whirl that day because we had
whirlwind. Do you mean?
It was a win whirl.
Whirlwind.
It was a whirlwind that day.
I'm gonna start using that. It's a win whirl, man. That was a win whirl, man.
It was crazy.
Hilarious.
Like those first 2 days were like so much excitement, and like you said, the dining, unpacking our clothes, going to get fitted for opening ceremonies, and then getting ready for opening ceremonies. Yeah.
And it was nice because they definitely, the coaches and management staff knew that we would need time to really like, they wanted us to soak it all in and really just feel the moment. So we did the dining hall. And then I think one thing that was really on my mind that I really wanted to do was take a picture in front of the Olympic rings. Right. And so we went and did that like 2 hours after getting into the village. We went and took pictures in front of the Olympic rings. And it was such a cool feeling because they're such a symbol.
Yeah. And everybody was there trying to get pictures for that. That was like the place to go once you got there, to go get that Olympic picture. Because that was, again, like a stamp of, oh, crap, I'm finally an Olympian and I can show the world and tell the world. So that was amazing.
Yeah, there was constantly lines. Whenever you wanted to take a picture in front of the rings, you had to wait in line. And then you just like filter through people taking pictures.
And then we also at the village had the pin trading.
Pin trading. Yep.
We had the pin trading. So with that, all countries have their own pins, a couple of different ones for some of them. And the idea is that you go and meet people from other countries and trade pins with them and get as many pins as possible. For me, I wasn't too dedicated to it. I was like, oh, if it comes around, I'm down for it. But if not, like, I'm not too worried about it. But I know some of the players were like, had the best pins and had almost all the country's pins. Were you big on the pin trading?
That wasn't me, but Abby was big into it. Yeah. Abby's good at it. Even from Pan Am games, she's a killer, man. She'll just like snipe somebody and then just go up to them in the middle. They could be in the middle of group and they'll be like, I need that pin. And she'll get the pin from them. But I still got some pins. It was really cool. And then what happened? What happened the second day? What did we do?
We had opening ceremonies.
Yes. And that was a fun time, but opening ceremonies were long, man.
Holy moly. Like, people told me before going to the Olympics, like, the opening ceremonies is great, but it's only going to be great for like the last 10 minutes. And that was exactly what it was like for me. We were standing on our feet for maybe 6 hours.
Yeah.
A long time.
Because we had to get ready. They're like, okay, get ready by like 7:15 or something like that. So us women's team are like, we're ready. We're set to go.
Yeah.
Which was actually good because then we got pictures when the light was still out. And so we took pictures and we're ready to go. I'm like, okay, all right, here we go. We're ready to do it. And then we just waited and waited and it was hot. And so we're wearing jeans, a blazer, a shirt, a bandana around our neck, and we're just like sweating. Okay. And we don't know what's happening. And we were the third to last country to go out because LA, they go by whoever's going to host the Olympics the next 2 years. So we're going to host in LA in 2028. So it was us, France, and then Japan, who's hosting now. So we're just waiting. But I do remember once the basketball team, like the NBA team, WNBA team arrived, everyone is just like, oh my gosh, didn't you go to try to get a picture with them?
I went with some of the girls and we got pictures with KD and what's that guy's name? Something Green.
Draymond doesn't
Green.
Even know when she went and got a picture with him. Wow.
I'm like, I know your face because I don't watch sports, but I'm like, I know your face. I know KD, but like, I think that it was like excitement in the beginning, waiting, dying, sweating, hungry, tired, my feet hurt, and then exciting at the end. And then it was like, get me back to my hotel room.
Yeah, and it was like, so we waited at the village for probably 2 hours, and then we got a bus ride over to the stadium, and then you have to wait in line, and you're just packed in, waiting in line, and then you go into a tunnel, and you're like, well, if this thing collapses, I'm all dead, because we're packed in there like sardines. It's hot, and we're just slowly inching forward as all these countries are announced, and it took a while. I was sweating through every part of me. And then we slowly make our way, and I do remember, like, I was so excited, and then as we walked out, it was kind of a weird moment because no one's in the stands. So whenever I've watched the opening ceremonies, it's been a packed stadium, and the US has some of the most athletes, so they have a lot of fans everywhere, and everyone loves US sports, so usually we get massive cheers. So it was interesting to like walk out, and then I was like waving, and I was like, who am I waving at? Because there's no one out here.
Well, as you guys know, this is the Leos, then we're two Leos. So me and Lo, like the whole way walking in there, like, okay, we need to find which side is going to have all the cameras so that everybody sees us. We were those two people. And so I think we got in a pretty good position to be seen.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, because my sister was texting me. She was like, all right, you need to be on the left side. That's where the cameras are. Go to the left side. Okay, stay here. Okay, go to the back. And so she's telling me all these instructions and whatnot. And so we keep trying to like stay in good places, but people like keep moving up. Some move slowly. And so it worked out, and it was like really cool. And I think we did get a moment. There was a moment where my family back home was videoing it, and they're like, oh wait, I think I saw her. Oh my gosh, there she is. And they scream when they see me on camera. It was so cute.
Yeah. When I seen the videos that my family took from me and you and Alev and all of us and the opening ceremonies, I felt so proud just because to see how happy and proud and excited they were for it. I was like, okay, like this, I'm doing an amazing thing. Like, it, but to feel it is different.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was really nice to be able to have them see that and be a part of that, even though they're all the way across the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people think, oh, well, COVID, but they did such a great job of making it still so memorable for us. So of course there were a lot of COVID protocols. Like, we had to get tested every morning. Every morning we had to like do a spit test, and you couldn't eat or drink anything before that. And then you had to wear masks everywhere you went, wash your hands before you went into the dining hall. And then there was dividers up wherever you sat. So every seat was kind of individually placed, and you had to sit with a divider. But other than that, we still had the opportunity to meet a lot of athletes and connect in a way, even if it was through masks. But I think Japan did a great job with it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be very hectic and annoying, but it was pretty easygoing. We did a lot of good preparation for the COVID protocols in the previous tournaments we had went to. So that was a nice leeway into Tokyo. Yeah.
And what else we do? So like, we trained every day. We would have to go to a different field to train at. We would take the buses, great buses, also well set up, and we would go train. And then we would do like some pool sessions somewheres. We would go to the USA has their own like, what was that called? Like the USA Training Center, I guess.
Yeah,
that Tokyo. They set up at a college in Japan. And so we would go there, do our lifting, they had a pool there that we would go swim in. Naya's not the biggest into pool sessions.
I love the pool. That's the thing. I love the pool, but he picks the worst days. He picks the days where I do my hair, and I'm like, dude,
you need to send him a schedule.
Yeah.
Hey, we can do pool sessions on Tuesdays, but don't even dare do it on Thursdays, all right?
I'm like, and I feel bad because I'm like, damn, if these girls only knew, because I am a great swimmer. That's the thing. Like, I think I could honestly beat a good amount of you guys. Promise you.
Okay.
Promise.
Classic Leo.
Okay, guys, listen to me now, Cubs. Me and Lo and all the other girls are going to have a pool race. Lo, you remember when I beat you under the water?
Okay, that's because I can't hold my breath for a long time.
We will see, Cubs, and we will get back to you on another episode.
So that's kind of funny because I'm always somebody who like I dive in and I get my hair wet and I'm just playing dolphin and stuff. But I got a sty in my eye. on the first day in the village. So I couldn't go under the water. So I was like hanging out with Naya. She's not getting her hair wet, so I'm hanging with them.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, I was hanging with the black girls. All right. And I was like, oh, I can't get my hair wet either. When really it's because I had a sty in my eye.
So she says. So those first 2 days were like super excitement, all fun and games. And then from that third day on, it was really business. Like that's what it felt like to me. That's what I've been telling people when they're saying like, what was your Olympic experience? Like after those first 2 days, it was training, riding the buses for long amounts of time, going to the gym, coming back around 8:00 or coming back around 6-ish, eating dinner and going to sleep. And that was like what it was like for 5 days straight while we were training before competition. It felt like an actual tournament.
I guess for me, it felt a little different because I was on TikTok so much. Mm-hmm. And so I was actually having a lot of fun making these TikToks for people. Yeah. So it was like, I felt serious for those like practice sessions. But other than that, I felt very like chill almost. And I was just having so much fun. The TikToks kind of took my mind off of the stress of everything and just being myself on there. So I had a kind of a different experience, I think, because it was a weird escape that I was using in this app.
Yeah. The only place I was escaping to was the massage room because we were getting massages every day and those masseuses are amazing.
Yeah. Those ones knew how to do it.
Yeah. They're really good.
Do you have like a favorite or memorable moment?
I think my most memorable moment would probably be the last night, like just hanging out with everybody.
At the hotel?
Yeah, hanging out with everybody, including the staff, and just like spending those last precious moments together as that one team. That's something that we talked about that night. It was just nice to like reminisce and it not be so serious, like to be there with Brownie and to him to just be chill. Like I haven't had that moment with him like that my whole 3-4 years with him. So to be able to have that on the last night, that was nice for me. That was probably my favorite memory.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy we did that. So what happened was on the last night, it was kind of like, hey, the coaches are all having a drink at their hotel, which is there were shuttles to that hotel. And so we were like, wait, should we go crash this? Or so I don't know, remember who was like, we're going to crash this. And I was like, are we sure we're going to crash this? But I'm so happy we did because it was a great moment of connection after, I mean, we've been with each other for 3 years now.
Yeah.
At pretty much the same crew. So it was so fun to just connect and be ourselves and hang out. And after, going through this major life experience together.
Yeah. What about you? What was your most memorable moment?
Honestly, I just loved making the TikToks with you guys. Like when we were testing out the beds, people were dying of laughter. When we made that birthing scene, it was just so funny. And everything else, like the little moments that we could share making those TikToks was so awesome. And I think that people got to see it as well through the TikToks. And I just, it was so cool to be able to laugh and have fun together all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was another fun thing for me to see, especially like trying to be this social media guru and being able to watch you like just take over TikTok and blow up. Because people don't know, like you were working hard for that, like before you blew up, like you were working so hard and dedicating so much of your time and not giving a damn what people were saying when they were watching you make TikToks on the field, including myself, just laughing on the sideline. And you did it, like you really blew up and made a name for yourself, already bigger than what you were as a rugby player or a nurse or just a amazing young woman. Like you created a business for yourself, you created a brand for yourself. And that was so exciting to see because it shows other athletes, no matter what sport you're in, as long as you dedicate yourself to whatever you're trying to do. And as long as you stay genuine, like the right people will gravitate towards you and the right things will happen for you. So that was so nice to see.
Thank you. I mean, it was cool. And I think one thing that, as you said, genuine was just like being authentic on that app. Mm-hmm. I think you and I maybe have a hard time being fake ever. And like
100%,
Naya's never going to be fake. She's always very honest. So it's kind of cool that through this app, I was able to be as genuine as I wanted to. Like people, as I said, people called me the thirsty Olympian, but I was like, no one else is saying it, but everybody else is thinking it. Okay. Everyone else is noticing the attractive athletes, just no one else is saying it out loud. I'm brave enough to say it out loud, I guess.
Exactly. So if you were able to watch the games, we ended up coming in 6th place. Obviously, it wasn't what we were looking for. We had our, how am I blanking on? We had our
heart set
on gold, as everybody did, but we fell short. And I think from that competition, like, we worked hard. We showed that we can show up, and there were times where we didn't. And, you know, that's sports. And that's something that hopefully all of us have learned lessons from, and that it was an opportunity to get better. I think one great thing about our team is that we're so adaptable, and when things go our way, we take advantage of it. And when they don't, we find lessons out of it. So individually, like, I had a great time playing. And I'm definitely looking forward to the next Olympics in Paris and really getting that gold this time.
We'll be right back after this commercial break. Was there one big lesson that you learned?
In terms of competition?
No, just in general.
In general.
Your Olympic experience. I have one while you think, if you want.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So for me, I think I learned that I put so much pressure on, you know, like winning a medal and like that experience and I think it overshadowed how amazing everything it was and all the good that I did, because I put so much pressure on it. And I think our sports psych guy all the time talks about being present, and I don't think I was very present in that. I just kept thinking about, we have to do this, we have to do this, but really it's an experience. The Olympics is an experience, and it was still amazing, but because of that, not getting what I wanted, it almost soured the whole thing for me, because I'd expected something. I put my expectations so high when really I'd done so much, and it was a great experience.
I think for me, mine would be to kind of prioritize what I choose to focus on going into the next Olympics. I think for me, I was really looking forward to the aesthetics of it versus the actual competition of it. I was looking forward to getting the gifts and meeting the famous athletes and all the glitz and glamour of it, versus like really being focused on, you know, there's a job that I have to go out there and handle. That definitely was a goal of mine. But I think if I spent a little less time worrying about all the fun and exciting things, that I would have been able to put a little more energy into the games. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What's next for us? So I'm right now still remote training, but I'm back in San Diego, and I start training in like 2.5 weeks. Naya, you're preparing for PR7s?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for PR7s, which is a Premier Rugby Sevens League that's starting in the US, and we'll be playing in Memphis October 9th. So if you have a chance, go check that out, whether it's in person or online.
Boom. All right. Well, we're going to head into Cub questions then.
You want to talk about
mouthing something to me? What did you want to say, Naya?
Do you want to talk about like what we did in our off time and stuff?
Oh, I mean,
After
sure. Yeah.
Olympics?
I just did TikToks. That's all I did.
You did not.
What did you do?
Amazing things over this break.
Our off time is in post right now.
Yeah,
at home.
post Olympics. Yeah.
Oh, well, I went to Mexico, and I went to Montana, and I went to Vermont, and I am trying not to be sad sometimes, which is hard. But it's been good to be with family and friends, and just chilling out. I haven't really actually been doing a lot of rugby. I haven't really been watching rugby, doing it. So that's been an interesting time to take a break. But I have been going to a lot of schools and coaching. And that's been really cool to do guest coaches, because all these girls get so excited. Girls and boys get so excited to see me. And it's just fun to kind of spread the word. What about you?
So when I got back, I spent a little time in San Diego with my boyfriend and celebrated my birthday. So that was exciting. And then I went to New Orleans and had a girls trip with a lot of my best friends from the East Coast. And that was fantastic. Jazzy and Doyle surprised me there. So that was the icing am I going to mess this up? That was the cherry on top.
Yeah, good.
I don't know why I keep trying to use them if I don't know them.
It's just a win world, dude. Just a win world.
And then after New Orleans, I came to Charlotte for a couple days, and then I drove up to Atlanta to see my aunts, my grandma, and my cousins and some of my siblings, and then headed back to Charlotte, spent about 2 weeks there. Also went up to Chapel Hill for one of my best friend's weddings. So that was lovely. But when I was home, like literally my mom was like, go do something. I'm like, dude, I just want to lay around, wake up at 4 p.m., go to sleep at 2 a.m., eat what I want, drink what I want, chill, spend time with my friends. I did a little bit of partying, but yeah, for the most part, I was just chilling. I maybe worked out 3 times over the span of a month. So that was lovely.
Same. That might have been me too. Same.
Yeah. I mean, my body needed it, honestly. Like we work hard, like 11 out of the 12 months. So I think my body really needed that because getting back into training now, like I feel good. So
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can we do cup questions now?
Absolutely.
Yay. Okay, so which Olympic sport do you think you'd be terrible at and why?
Am I first?
Yeah.
I think I would be terrible at I'd probably say
swimming. I'm just kidding.
No, I could probably cross over to that in a year.
No, you couldn't. Freaking.
I'd probably be horrible at gymnastics because of how tall I am, how heavy I am. And I don't know if that matters, but I think it does. And also,
it does.
I don't like heights. So that's a no for me.
Yeah. I don't like the thought of like putting my body over my head.
Yeah.
Just, I don't need that. I don't need 200 pounds over my head like that.
You put 200 pounds over your head when we lift weights.
Barely.
Whatever.
Barely. I think I would also be bad at gymnastics. I think I would be bad at like sports that are just sitting there or standing there, like skeet shooting or something. I would just get very antsy.
Yeah. We'd look good in leotards though.
Oh, no doubt.
We'd tear that part up.
With these fires? Come on.
5 stars.
Yeah, for sure.
Next question. Did the weight of repping the USA change compared to other international tournaments?
I don't think it did for me. It felt kind of the same. I always kind of want to rep my country and USA to the best of my ability.
I think for me, it just felt like a tad bit more pressure knowing that so many more people were watching and that they were there to see you're good and you're bad. So I think that was a little bit of pressure for me where it's like when I did good, it was great because you got all this love from so many people more than what you normally would from our international tournaments. And the same with if you did bad, like you got so much more hate or whatever it was. So it was the best and the worst of both worlds.
Are all the refs bilingual? How does it work playing with 2 teams of different languages?
It's a great question.
Do you know the answer?
No, I feel like they probably are like, okay, what language do you speak? Do you speak any extra languages? Okay, if you do, we'll put you with those teams. Does that make sense?
I don't think that's it, but they use English as the language for all games. So that's like I don't know how to say, but that's the language for every team. They use English. They're not going to bring in like a ref who speaks, I think, Mandarin or whatnot. It's like English, and then people just know like the certain English words for things, because rugby pretty much all over will use like crouch, bind, set or whatnot, or they'll use the same language and lingo, release and whatnot. So all the refs just have to speak English at least. And then when I know we've played with Spain before, and like you'll hear the Spanish girls like, we want to play, or they'll say things, but you have to have like one person on the team will speak English and whatnot. And so that'll help.
I wonder what they would do if they didn't have anybody on the team that could speak English.
I mean, it's definitely happened before.
Because of course,
but it's like they just have to know those certain words.
Well, boo to us for always trying to make everybody speak our language.
I know.
What if they were like, you have to know Spanish? I'm like, all right,
I'd be like, Naya, what just happened?
I mean, and that's the thing, like, there's probably one person on some of those teams that speaks English and they're kind of translating for their teammates. So that's one thing we know.
Good thing with rugby, though, too, is there's a lot of hand signals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a hand signal for diving over. There's a hand signal for hands in the rock or whatnot. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of sports. Like language isn't that important as long as you know how to play the game.
Oh, that's beautiful, Naya. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Last question. Cubs, I think this one is specifically for me. Just kidding. This is for the beautiful Lo. Lo, did you find an Olympic god to marry yet?
Yo, I put this question out and that has to be, I put that on my story and we're like, hey guys, ask us questions about the Olympics. And probably like 15 people were like, did you find someone? Did you hook up with somebody? Did you find a man? And I'm sorry to say no. It's very tough out here. Okay. We could barely talk to anybody. If I'd had more time, I have no doubt I would have slayed that village. All right. No doubt. But we just didn't have enough time. So I did not find an Olympic god to marry. I did not go up to any 6'7" Romanian volleyball players. I'm not even sure there was a Romanian volleyball team, to be honest, but I did not. But I am sure that in Paris, you're going to have to watch out because I'm on it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, wait, you didn't find an Olympic god to marry, did you? You found a Paralympic god to marry, though.
Yeah, I have a Paralympic god that I'm looking forward to marrying. And no, I'm not engaged yet. I just have a boyfriend, but I'm looking forward to the future.
Huzzah. Well, thank you all for listening. You can subscribe to the Leo's Den on your podcast app. The show notes are on our webpage at wisports.com. Listen tab Leo's Den. And follow at Wiz Sports on all social media platforms for more great podcasts on women's sports.
And before we head out, of course, we have a challenge for you guys. Our challenge is for you to turn your alerts on every Friday for our episode releases and follow at Leo's Den _Wiz Sports on Instagram, as well as at Wiz Sports, at Naya Tapper, and at Ilona Maher. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of season 2 and that you will continue listening with us. Lo, take it away.
Whether you came for the rugby or stayed for the shenanigans, we hope you join us next time in the Leo's Den. Bye, guys.
Peace out.